first hour is an unfolding of blue linen across the bruised horizon of the mind, where the world has left its jagged marks and its frantic echoes. It begins not with a chord, but with the withdrawal of the tide, a slow recession of every sharp desire, and every heavy anxiety into the vastness of an azure silence. You are invited to sit where the stone is cool and the incense is old, watching the way the candlelight bends toward the heart of the mother who never left the room. She is the architecture of this stillness, a cathedral made of breath and patience, her hands folded over the map of our wanderings. In this initial span of time, the music is a fragrance of jasmine and crushed stone, a steady pulse that teaches the blood to forget its haste, and the eyes to lose their habit of searching for storms. There is a weightlessness in the way her name is whispered, not as a command, but as a resting place, a soft syllable that catches the soul before it falls into the abyss of its own exhaustion. As the second hour deepens, the beads of the rosary become the rhythmic footsteps of a long walk through a garden that has never known the bite of winter. The music elongates, stretching its limbs like ivy, climbing the walls of a forgotten sanctuary, turning every sorrow into a translucent leaf that catches the light of an eternal sun. Here, the peace is no longer a surface to float upon, but a depth to sink into, a pressure that is both firm and infinitely gentle. The Marian presence is felt as a warmth behind the eyelids, a silver thread weaving through the tangled knots of the past, untying the bitterness with a touch that smells of lilies and ancient mercy. We are moving now through the middle of the mystery, where the 3 hours feel like a single breath held in the lungs of the universe, a suspension of all judgment and a total surrender to the geometry of the circle. Each note is a drop of oil upon a wound, a slow titration of grace into the veins of the weary, until the distinction between the prayer and the person praying begins to dissolve into a singular hum of belonging. The third hour arrives like the settling of dust in a beam of afternoon light, a profound stillness that precedes the transformation of the spirit. The music has become a drone of celestial origin, a sound that does not occupy space, but creates it, opening vast rooms within the chest where there was once only a narrow hallway of fear. This is the hour of the fiat, the quiet yes that echoes from the core of the earth to the farthest star, a vibration of absolute trust that requires no words and no explanations. The silence is now the loudest part of the symphony, a white flame that burns without heat, consuming the last remnants of the day's noise, until only the essential self remains, naked and unashamed in the gaze of the Immaculate. There is no more distance between the seeker and the source. There is only the rhythmic rocking of a cosmic cradle, a mother's low hummed lullaby that anchors the heart to the bottom of the ocean where no wave can reach. The time has ceased to be a line and has become a sphere, a crystalline enclosure where the peace is so deep it feels like the very substance of eternity, a calm that cannot be broken because it has already survived the end of the world. Now the 3 hours are a garment worn by the soul, a heavy cloak of sapphire and pearl that protects the internal sanctuary from the return of the storm. The music lingers like the scent of roses in a room where the windows have just been closed, a lingering sweetness that stays in the throat and the palms. The prayer has finished its work of dismantling the ego and has rebuilt the human spirit in the image of a quiet lake, reflecting only the stars in the immense, unhurried face of the mother who watches over the sleeping child. We remain in this stasis, this holy equilibrium, where every breath is a Magnificat and every heartbeat is a step toward home. The deep calm is the only reality left, a foundation of marble and mist that supports the weight of our lives with an effortless grace, leaving us anchored in a peace that does not understand the meaning of departure. The vigil concludes not with an end, but with the perpetual opening into the light that never fades.
The hammer strikes the wire in a cathedral of felt and spruce, where the piano begins its solitary pilgrimage. A soft descent of notes like rain falling upon the dry parchment of the soul. There is a quietude in the ivory keys, a deliberate pacing of Arbelator's vision that counts the heartbeats of the weary before the first word is ever uttered. Then comes the violin, a slender reed of wood and resin, weeping upward in a glissando that's the distance between the earth and the firmament. It does not merely play a melody, it sighs the ancient longing of the Anima Christi, pulling a silver thread through the silence, vibrating with the tension of a spirit that is both broken and being mended. This is the prelude to the indwelling, the preparation of the vessel for the wine and the water that are about to flow from the side of the transcendent. Soul of Christ, be the breath within my own lungs, a sanctification that moves not as a concept, but as a tangible warmth spreading through the marrow. The choir rises now, the Bucas Palette Collective, a tapestry of voices that carries the weight of 1,000 Sundays, and the intimacy of a single whispered confession. Their harmony is the architecture of mercy, building a roof of song over the listener, where every alto's depth and every soprano's light serves to illuminate the darkness of the human condition. Body of Christ, save me, not from the world, but within it, becoming the very substance of my resilience. The piano ripples underneath like the surface of a disturbed pool, reflecting the fractured light of grace, while the violin sustains a high, shimmering note that feels like the very edge of a cloud touched by the setting sun. Blood of Christ, inebriate me. Let the vintage of the cross wash away the thirst for things that do not satisfy. There is a holy intoxication in this movement, a rhythmic ebb and flow, where the percussion of the piano's Lord register grounds. The celestial flight of the voices. Water from the side of Christ wash me. Not merely a cleansing of the skin, but a deluge for the interior deserts. A river finding its way through the canyons of the heart's hidden grievances. The music swells here, the violin becoming more urgent, its vibrato a pulse of desperation and hope intertwined. It is the sound of the spear wound becoming a portal, an invitation to hide within the cleft of the rock. Oh, passion of Christ, strengthen me, for the journey is long and the mountain is steep, and only the memory of the suffering God can provide the fortitude to endure the silence of the Saturday tomb. Oh, good Jesus, hear me. Let the prayer transition from a liturgical rite into a desperate rhythmic breathing. Within thy wounds hide me. Let the jagged edges of thy pain be the sanctuary where my own scars find their resonance and their rest. The choir's voice is thick, a wall of sound that is neither harsh nor heavy, but enveloping like a shroud made of light. Do not permit me to be parted from thee. The piano insists with a recurrent motif, a stubborn insistence of grace that refuses to let go of the hem of the garment. From the malignant enemy defend me, from the shadows that whisper of unworthiness and the cold winds of abandonment. The violin now dances in a counterpoint of protection, a soaring bird circling the fortress of the melody, warding off the night with a frantic, beautiful clarity. In the hour of my death, call me and bid me come to thee, that with thy saints I may praise thee forever and ever. The music begins its long, translucent fade. The voice is thinning into a singular, holy vibration. The violin returns to its lowest string, a resonant, woody hum that mimics the settling of the earth, while the piano offers one final crystalline chord that hangs in the air like incense in an empty nave. This is the Bucas palette, the open hand, surrendering the song back to the silence from which it was born. The lyrics have dissolved into the atmosphere, leaving only the scent of the sacred and the lingering vibration of the soul that has, for a few minutes, been fused with the divine. The final note is not an end, but a door left slightly ajar, through which the light of the soul of Christ continues to pour into the quiet rooms of our ordinary lives. In the deepening amethyst of the seventh hour, when the Sabbath sun leans low against the leaded glass, the silence settles upon the nave like the weight of ancient water. Here, the clock counts not in seconds but in heartbeats, marking the threshold where the day's labor dissolves into the vesperal glow. We gather, a collective of lungs and longing, positioned in the tired shadows, where the wood of the pew smells of lemon oil, and the prayers of 1,000 previous Sundays. The air is thick with the residue of incense, and the cooling heat of the afternoon, a physical suspension waiting for the first vibration. Ave Maria, gratia plena, keyboard begins its rhythmic descent into the architecture of light, where Johann Sebastian's mathematical grace meets the velvet longing of a heart in prayer. The piano breathes in C major, a cycle of rising ripples that mirror the steady pulse of a soul at peace, an ancient foundation of stone and logic upon which Gounod weaves his crown of woven gold. Dominus tecum. The voice of the soloist rises like a single candle flame in a cathedral of silence, a silver thread of sound that stitches the earth to the hem of the heavens.
Benedicta tu in mulieribus.
The string quartet enters not
As an accompaniment,
but as of sighs, the cello providing the dark, rich resonance of the soil from which the lily grows, while the violins shiver with the vibrato of 1,000 unsaid petitions. There is a sacred geometry in the way the bow meets the string, a friction that transforms resin and horsehair into a celestial language that transcends the limits of the tongue. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. The melody ascends, climbing the ladder of the arpeggio with a romantic intensity that knows no fear, only the profound surrender of the fiat. It is a dialogue between the structured mind of the Baroque and the weeping heart of the Romantic, a marriage of crystalline order and the fluid warmth of human breath. The quartet swells, 4 voices merging into one singular vibration that fills the corners of the sanctuary, echoing against the stained glass where the blue of your mantle catches the dying light of the afternoon. Et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iessus. Every note is a beat on a rosary of sound, every shift in harmony a step closer to the mystery of the incarnation. The piano remains constant, the heartbeat of the divine, while the strings wrap their melodic arms around the soloist in a gesture of maternal protection. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus. The Latin tongue carries the weight of centuries, a heavy and holy incense that lingers in the air long after the vow has faded. The English follows like a shadow, intermittent clear, a child whispering to a mother in the dark, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. The music does not fear the end, for the quartet holds the tension of the final cadence with the tenderness that speaks of homecoming. The soloist's voice reaches its zenith, a high, pure, suspended moment where time ceases to move, where the back-end pulse and the Gounod curve become one single point of light. It is the sound of the Magnificat whispered in the garden, the sound of the Pietà silence, the
resolution. The strings fade into a ghostly pianissimo that remains in the marrow of the listener. The soloist's breath is the last thing to depart, leaving a vacuum of holiness where the music once stood. This is the hymn of the transition, between the logic of the creator and the passion of the created, through the piano's hammers and the quartet's resonance, through the Latin of the ancients and the English of the now. The Marian spirit is invoked, not as a distant icon, but as a living presence, felt in the vibration of the wood and the tension of the wire. Ave, Ave, the echoes repeat in the mind's ear, a cycle of grace that never truly concludes, but merely waits for the next time the bow touches the string to begin its climb back to the Father. The amber taper bleeds against the unpolished stone, while the violet veil of the season drapes heavily over the transept. It is 7 of the clock, that fragile hinge where the rest of the Sabbath begins to fray into the anticipation of the world's labor. And we are gathered in the hollow of the nave to weave a cord of sound that might tether the divine to this fleeting floor. The air carries the scent of extinguished wax and the damp breath of the late winter rain, a Lenten chill that settles in the marrow of the wooden pews. We do not sing to the rafters, but to the dust, for it is from the dust that our voices rise in this recursive, circular pleading, an ostinato of the soul that refuses to let the hem of the garment slip through our collective fingers. Stay with me, for the shadows have grown long, and the wolves of the interior desert are beginning to howl at the gates of the mind. Remain here where the light is small but communal, where the flickering wick is the only cartography we possess in the thickening dark. We are a choir of shadows, our faces blurred by the penumbra of the sanctuary, our identities dissolved into the singular pulsing ache of the chant. There is no vanity in the throat, only the friction of the breath against the silence, a rhythmic tide that ebbs and flows around the central pillar of your presence. We repeat the petition, not because you are deaf, but because we are slow to believe, needing the 100th iteration to finally convince the heart that the vacancy beside us is actually full. The Lenten path is narrow and paved with the grit of our own undone resolutions. Yet in the 7 o'clock hour, the urgency of the dusk makes the prayer a necessity, as vital as the drawing of oxygen. Do not depart when the final candle is snuffed by the sacristan's bell. Do not vanish when the heavy iron doors groan shut against the night. We occupy the Gethsemane of the Sunday evening, asking for the one thing the apostles could not provide, a wakefulness that survives the weight of the eyelids, a vigilance that outlasts the dying embers of the day. The harmony is a fragile architecture, a cathedral built of vibrating air and shared longing, where the alto's descent meets the tenor's climb in a mid-air embrace of sorrow and hope. We are singing the anatomy of the vigil capable of remain is a brick laid against the encroaching cold of the coming week's indifference. The music does not march, it spirals deeper and deeper into the center of the stillness, until the distinction between the singer and the song is bleached away by the intensity of the focus. It is the Sunday of the parched throat, the Sunday of the ash-marked brow, and we are holding on to the vibration of the word me, as if it were the last handhold on a cliffside. Stay with me in the interruption of the silence, in the spaces between the pulses, in the terrifying quiet that follows the resolution of the minor key. Listen to the floorboards creaking under the weight of our bowed heads, a percussion of humility that underscores the vocal line. We are not asking for fire from heaven or the parting of seas, but for the quiet persistence of a shadow that stays when the sun has surrendered. The lyrics are a map of the territory we have walked for 40 days, a geography of hunger and the slow agonizing ripening of the spirit. As the clock ticks toward the end of the hour, the chant grows denser, a thicket of sound where the heart can hide from the hounds of worry. We are the Sunday night watchmen, keeping the flame of the stay alive against the gale of the go. Remain here in the resonance of the vaulted ceiling, in the cold texture of the hymnal, in the warmth of the neighbor's shoulder, whose breath joins ours in a desperate, beautiful unison. When the music eventually fades into the black velvet of the night, let the echo be the substance we carry into the dawn, a phantom presence that refuses to leave the room of our chest, a permanent with me that survives the silence of the stone. In the violet suspension of the 7th hour, when the candles weep their final translucent wax onto the cooling stone, the air is thick with the residue of incense and the quiet sighs of those who linger. This is the hour of the threshold, where the sacred day prepares to fold its wings, and the secular night begins its slow ascent through the narthex. We stand in the gloaming of the sanctuary, our voices tattered and smoothed by the week's long labor, leaning into the harmonium's breath, as if the wooden bellows could inhale our very doubts. The prophet's warning hangs in the rafters, not as a threat of distance, but as a beckoning of proximity. For the window of the divine is a shifting aperture, and the spirit moves like the cooling wind through the city's gray arteries. Seek him now while the shadows are long and the world is momentarily hushed into a posture of listening.